Hey guys, it's been over 7 months since I've done a live, and it's time that I come back because there's been just way too much being said online that is just so far from the truth. And that's not even why I'm coming back, because I can care less what people say. There are some serious things that are happening in my life, and I want to talk about those. Hold on, give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay, what about that? I hope you guys can hear me okay. I wasn't even planning on going live today. But things have changed and things are really serious now. I just want to make it clear though. My heart is beating so fast. You know, when I wanted to come back to social media, I was never going to give any updates on Vaughn. Because why? After what people did to me and my family, nobody deserves him and how special he is after what was done to me and my family. So I wasn't going to come live and talk about my husband ever again. And my friends can tell you, and they supported it. They said they don't deserve your family. Dude, my heart's beating so fast. Oh God. But now I am gonna give an update on him, because things have changed and not in a good way. And please understand how hard this is for me because of what was done. Oh, my heart. I lost. You guys get off the Wi-Fi. Thank you guys so much. And for your hearts. Is it still? Okay, I got off the Wi-Fi. Let me know if this is fuzzy or weird. There's a lot of wind here in Tucson, Arizona. That's where I currently am at. And I don't know if it's gonna affect the reception. So I apologize if it does. I don't want that to happen, because then, you know, I just don't want to repeat what I have to say. Last year, May 23rd, my life changed forever. And as loud as everybody wanted to be about spreading lies about me, y'all need to be just as loud, and if not even louder, about putting the truth out there. So go ahead and do your shares. Let other people know, because there's still people to this day talking about me that don't know nothing. There's still family members of my husband that are still exploiting him to this day. And as much as people wanted to watch those videos where people are tearing up my family and putting that stuff out there, make sure that this is out there, that this is the truth. Y'all really want to know about my husband, about my family? Well, let me give it to you. First of all, this was something that should have never even been spoken about unless it came from my husband's mouth. So let's make that clear real quick. Nobody should have ever went and digged up what is my husband's business, not even mine. And I, for the last 5 years, more than 5 years, I've been on social media and shared part of my life, a huge part of my life, a lot of my special relationship with my husband, my children. I let so many people in my home with makeup videos. Dude, I was a military wife, you know, like I was a military daughter. My dad served in the Navy for 26 years. And then I married military. So I'm around that broke life. And not that, and speaking about me and my husband when we were married, not necessarily my dad, but like, you know, people know this is why there's so many military discounts, because they don't make a lot of money. Okay. So because I would see people on live videos doing their makeup and all of that, I thought, dude, that's so cool. That's crazy. But I can never go to Sephora. Like, we don't make that type of money. We very low income. So I can't. I'm a Walmart girl all the way. So I thought, well, shoot, let me go live and start doing that. And then it evolved from makeup to cooking to sharing so many different things. You know? On May 23rd of 2022, my husband attempted. And it was there's no words. I need to take my time because I am getting help. And lately, my heart has been doing a number. And the pain, I feel a physical pain. And it's such a sharp pain right now. So it's like, I really need to take my time. So thank you for your patience and letting me say what I have to say. It should have never been this way. My husband, I found him, and it was shocking. I was studying the Bible with my daughter. It was on a Monday, and we would study 7 o'clock in the mornings. That was our study. And Vaughn comes out of his room, and he was not well. But Vaughn hadn't been well for some time, and that's something that I didn't share and go into detail and continue to talk about publicly. My husband struggled with seizures for 2 years less than 2 years prior to the attempt and his subsequent brain injury. And before he would have seizures, he would go through a major personality change. My husband's the most loving, selfless, caring. Hold on, let me take some kava because I'm hacking. My husband is the most kind, gentle person I've ever met, and I know that it's so cliche, but see, I've never seen a man apologize. I've never seen a man treat a woman the way he taught me, not even in movies, or treated me, not taught me, I'm sorry. But before a seizure, he was not himself. Very narcissistic, egotistical. He was scary. He terrified me because it was so not him. And that's what made me feel even more so like, am I in a twilight zone? Because it was so confusing why he would be the way he was. And after this time of I'm sorry, I seen a comment and I shouldn't have. I put the settings on to where there wouldn't be comments because I know that people wouldn't give me the safe place, but that's the whole reason why I'm live, because I need to tell you about what's been happening these last 8 months, but especially what's happening right now, because this is not a good update. And so no matter what you feel about me, please respect that y'all ran me off. Y'all ran with delusions of grandeur. People that never watched me probably a day in their life, didn't know me from Adam. But people on social media love to talk. And I'm not with the drama. And I'm not the type of person to say, I don't like drama. I can't stand drama. I don't like drama. No. I say it and I show it by action. So as soon as I seen social media acting a fool, I was out. There ain't gonna be no back and forth, sister. There is no, we're going at each other. There's gonna be no drama. You are gonna be whoever, and then it's not a single person. Many influencers and content creators have tried to tarnish my name. And all these lies. And I was gone. This is my income. This is what I've been doing for 5 years. So allow me a safe place to come back. And don't judge other people for feeling how they feel, but respect them. If you feel some type of way about me, then this is not going to be a place for you to be. Now, I can't make you leave, but I don't accept that energy at all. And I don't know why you would want to do that to someone who is going through something so hard in their life. No matter what you feel about me, my husband still has a brain injury. My husband still needs care. I still need to provide for my husband, for my children. I've been the breadwinner for 5 years, not my husband. I have. With his help, we've been able to run a very successful business. Very successful business. The social media aspect, gosh, he's helped me so much. But the responsibility, the main responsibility has always lied on me. And I've been gone for 7 months without getting an income. And there's a lot of things that have been put out about me that are straight up lies, and things that are lies that want to make you feel some type of way, literally to have hate in your heart to give to me, which makes no sense. When my husband did what he did, he had been in that trigger for 3 weeks already. He was not himself for a while. And I was concerned. And things were not well. And it's hard because with being by his side all this time, you realize that if he's in a triggered state, he's either going to get better or he's going to have a seizure. So you're just waiting for time to pass by. After 3 months or 3 weeks, then he took drastic measures. So me, I stayed off of social media. For the first week, I was completely off. Then I needed support from Slay Mafia, my subscribers, people that subscribe to this Facebook page. We have such a good bond, and I needed that help for me because I was going through a lot. Then after 2 weeks, my husband was given a feeding formula that interacted with his body in a very bad way. My husband was at the VA hospital, and from day 3, it was pull the plug type energy. And it lasted throughout the duration of his visit. And during a certain time, he was given feeding formula that I could clearly see his body is interacting in a very bad way. We've been vegans for a while. We've been alkaline vegan for like a year, but, well, more than that now. But at that time, like 3 years, he hadn't had any meat, and all they have is animal products. Like when I say my husband had a negative reaction, I'm talking about before he could be off of the ventilator for 8 hours. And then when he had the increase in the feeding formula, he couldn't last 5 minutes. He couldn't, his heart rate, he couldn't function. What the doctor said is that he's going to be on a ventilator for the rest of his life. Never going to be able to recover. This is his state from here on out. That's what I was told. Day 3. Day 1 and 2 was really bad, detrimental. It was awful. But I never... I said so many prayers, asking for God to intervene and save my husband's life. And I thought he was gone when he was on the gurney coming from the backyard. I was so shocked. Because I thought, I performed CPR. I don't even know how long, but his body, when I seen that his heart was pumping, that was all that I needed to know and believe that he's gonna get better and that in time he will recover. And so then, leaving the VA hospital with all those issues, I feel like there's so many things that I'm going to be talking about the next few days. So I'm giving you update kind of like a need to know kind of basis right now. But there's a whole lot of stuff that I want to talk about, and I'm going to fill in a whole lot of gaps and clear a whole lot of things up. But right now, I'm just going to talk about what's important to this story right now. So, Vaughn leaves the hospital, and in 4 days, they take him off the ventilator and never put him back on. And it was amazing. And I was posting that on social media, and I'm like, oh my God, like, bro, he's off the ventilator. I remember the post, he was off the ventilator for 31 hours. Oh my gosh. Like, it was amazing. And then in time, my husband did exactly what I said he would do, is heal. And throughout it, I've been by his side every single day. When people were trying to clip videos of mine and put together a false narrative, and and the internet was going crazy when Marvon's, my husband's biological mother, really contributed to the harassment I received. It was severe. Whenever she posted the police report of what happened, she did it without redacting my address and my phone number. And immediately, immediately back to back, harassment, DEATH threats, people telling me I should have been the one that did it to myself. And people, there was a Facebook group, I think it grew like 80,000 people in like 4 days. These groups, these people that were trying to make people hate me, literally, like they were posting videos from like 3 years ago to get people to have a negative, hateful feeling towards me. When all that was happening and when these groups were growing and then all of these creators are getting on, I felt very scared. Very scared. The main Facebook page that started all of this, they made a post saying that they're flying here to Tucson to come protest out of my parents' house because I was not allowing Von's mother at that time to see him. And I had to get, whenever they made that post, I'm really glad that they gave a heads up, because I was on a Zoom meeting with my friends and they were like, Dre, I'm very sorry to tell you this, but I think you should get in your RV and leave right now. People are on their way to your mom's house. And immediately my mom pulls up her RV right next to mine. And I have to tell my children, who are already dealing with the fact that their dad is in the hospital, this is not our city. Tucson is not where we're from. We're in an RV. Like, everything is so new. Our life has completely turned upside down. And now we're having to run for our safety because people want to come and stalk me because they feel like I had something to do with this. So I left and I went to an RV park. And sometime around that time, that's when I went 3 days without visiting my husband because I was worried for my safety. At that time, I was working with a private investigator, and she checked up on me, and she was asking how I was doing, and I told her I'm not good. I've never left his side, ever, not once. I've been by my husband's side every single day. But I worry because people, Marvon's mother, posted the location of his hospital, asking who's in Tucson. You know? Like, why would you do that to your son? That's his location. Why would you do that? And then there's people that, this one guy in particular who had a Facebook page that said he worked with Von. He had this big old rifle in his Facebook page and saying that, you know, acting like he's gonna go to bat for Von. Von still has his phone. I logged into Von's Facebook. They ain't even Facebook friends. He literally just tried to friend request him, like, recently, because he was on the top of my husband's friend request list. Like, that is how much people tried to get involved for clout. That's how desperate people were to act like they really cared about Von when they absolutely showed no love to him. If anybody ever cared about Von, you would know how much he loves and adores and how much his family is his whole entire world. And me, our relationship, it's hard to describe. I feel like it's so obvious when you see videos of me and Vaughn. Look at the way he looks at me. Look at, why wouldn't you do everything that you can to save your husband's life with a man as special as him? And yet I'm judged for wanting them to continue to help him to keep fighting. I'm looked at bad, like I should have just let him go since this is what he wanted. Are you kidding me? How can you even form your thoughts to think that, but even more so express that type of views for someone else's life? Something that's so precious. Life is a gift. It's such a miracle. So to say that about someone, just crazy. But for 3 days, I didn't go to see Vaughn because I was worried of my safety. And then she told me, you got to go there. Even if you pull up in your vehicle and you ask them to have security escort you from your vehicle inside, then do that. So what I would do is I would park a mile away from the hospital, and then I would take a taxi to go visit my husband every day. Those 3 days that I didn't see him, he declined so much. See, Vaughn at that time, he had already been opening his eyes. And it was a little bit. Vaughn's eyes, one eyeball would be like looking straight and the other eye would be like his eyes were around and they were barely open. One was open, barely. And then after some time, they both opened. But it took 2 months for his eyes to fully open. Vaughn's eyes are fully open, like all the way. The way he looks at me, still with hearts in his eyes. But I'll get there in a minute. Vaughn's eyes shut all the way. After those 3 days, his eyes weren't open no more. His heart rate was normally in the 70s, low 80s. He was over 120, tachycardic. In the 130s, I think the first day that I got back, he was 130, and he had declined a lot. And as soon as I seen him, I knew that as scary as I felt for my safety, I am so much more scared of losing the man that I love with all my heart. So from that time on, for weeks, I would park a mile away and take a taxi to the hospital to go see my husband. And in time, within a few days, his heart rate started to decline and his eyes started to open again. And after that, I vowed I'm never, ever leaving his side again. And the only other time that I have left his side was because I had to make sure that my girls were protected. And I had to go to court out of town. And I didn't make it back in time. I made it very late, like the next day, early in the morning. And I didn't see him. And you know what happened the very next day? As the caregiver that took care of him, he told me that he didn't sleep all night. That whole night, didn't sleep. Every 2 hours, he checks on him because Vaughn needs to be turned. The whole night, nope. He goes, passes by the room all the time. Nope, Vaughn never slept, not even a 20-minute nap. And it took days after that for him to be calm again. That's the type of bond that me and my husband have. My husband is doing things that the doctor said he never would. Which is why I'm so mad now. Because he's back in the hospital. And it's not because his health is declining. It's because he was abused. there was foul play and negligence involved. And it seems like my voice is not loud enough. And I know what y'all did to me, crucify me over things that weren't even true. So I hope that this creates a ripple so that my husband can continue to fight. Because right now, he's fighting for his life in the hospital. When my husband first did this, and I'm going through this adjustment period, I felt good. I felt strong because I knew, and I prayed to God that he would make me, don't give me false hope, save my husband's life. But if that is not what his body is showing, if that's not the direction he's going, don't let me have false hope. And there would always be signs after signs that would show me he's going to pull through and make it. After, you already seen the videos that I would do. I would put my hands on my husband's face and he would turn it. He still does that. And then crying. He would cry a lot. Whenever he would show pain, he started to cry. He bats his eyelashes at me. He still does. He did it before I left the hospital. He batted his eyelashes at me. But he's not good in there for good reasons. My husband, after he left the care facility, I'm just going to say it because it was already put out there. He was at, well, I don't want to say it. After my husband left the VA hospital, he went to a long-term care facility. And after that, the VA was only going to pay for 30 days of him being there. But they could ask for an extension for 60 days. So, after that though, they're not paying for his care. And that's not a place that he really stays long term. They said he's already improved so much that he wouldn't even qualify for him to be there anymore. And before I even get there, when my husband left the VA hospital, they didn't even want him anymore. I didn't ask them to move my husband from the VA hospital. I never did. They told me from the get-go, like, he's going to have to go somewhere. If you want him to continue to live, then he has to go somewhere. He can't stay here in the ICU forever. These are things that they told me. So I was very well aware. The VA hospital is for emergency measures. After here, he's going somewhere else. And I was so glad whenever he left. And I'm going to talk about that visit that Vaughn had at the VA hospital with family members. I'll get to that another video, so stay tuned for that. But whenever he left, he went to a new facility, and he never left that facility. Whenever Vaughn moved, it was because the staff at the VA had sent him there. When my husband went to the step-down hospital, whenever he moved rooms. He didn't move buildings. From the moment I got there, I let them know, hi, my name is Dre McCray. This is my husband. I'm a social media influencer. This is my platform. This is what happened to my husband. This is what people believe. I need your help in keeping him safe. And the CEO didn't play no games. She was like, we're going to move him to a different room. At first, he was in the room right next to the door. She didn't play that. Like, no, anybody can come here. There were people talking about they're going to put on scrubs and walk in the hospital. The whole hospital had to shut down. That hospital had to shut down. Do you understand that? That's how big the negative attention of what happened and the lies created, that's what it caused. It caused a direct negative effect on not just my husband's care, but the other people in the facility. People were nervous going to work. It was sad. The other people in the hospital, their care was affected because of what was happening online. People were nervous, the people that worked there, because they seen what was happening online. And that's how people show their love. That's justice for Von. That's justice for Von. Telling other people his location, that's justice for him. Telling everybody the most vulnerable thing that he could have been struggling with. I know with my history, I've been married 8 years. I know my husband. My husband knows me. This platform that I've had on social media, I know what he wouldn't want me to share and what he would. There were things that were shared that he would have never wanted out. And we're going to go over that throughout the next few days. So stay tuned for that. But my husband knows that I need to take care of my children. I'm in a whole new city. When this happened, I dropped my stuff and left. As soon as this happened and I was done talking to the police, I went in, got my stuff, and went to the hospital. I called my mom and I said, Mom, or I texted her, I believe. I said, I need you to get here right now. Right now. She asked me why, and I told her. So I go to the hospital. She's on her way. Mom gets here. My mom's amazing. She really is. I don't know anyone else like her. I wouldn't have been able to get through these last few months without my mom. And she has my full support. And my mom wants a chance to speak to y'all also. So within the next few days, you guys, she wants to do a pre-recorded video. She don't want to go live. But she wants to talk about what hell this has been for her too. Which is sad because my dad, like, dude, he's from Michoacan, Uruapan. Like, he's from deep South Mexico. He came here, had a green card. He enlists in the Navy and serves his country for 26 years. After 26 years, then he gets out, he works at the VA. And now he has another government position. And it was so sad that with the negativity that was spread, people wanted to come and drive by my parents' house because they knew that's where I was staying. People wanted to come protest outside my parents' house. The neighbor is an elderly woman whose son used to work for the police department, who takes very good care of her. She can't handle that. There's elderly people on this street. Do you know how bad it made me and my family feel thinking that these poor people got to go through this? I felt horrible thinking like, Dad, damn, I'm sorry you served your country, and I'm sorry you're still serving your country. This is not what he deserves. People here. So when that Facebook page made a post saying that they're coming to come stalk me, I left. And I'm glad I did, because I didn't want to bring that to my parents. They don't deserve that. My mother is a volunteer and helps people learn more about the Bible. She volunteers her time with studying the Bible with other people. And she had to prepare for people coming onto her property because of that. Back to my husband. My husband, after that facility, he didn't meet the qualifications he needed to stay because he improved so much. The CEO was amazed. She didn't think he would get better. She even told Von's mom that because she had a meeting with Von's mom. I didn't have no lawyer. That's going to be talked about later also. But just the fact that I didn't have a lawyer and so many people were saying I have a lawyer. No, I got off the internet because the internet was acting a fool. I was like, y'all crazy. I'm out. I got a real life husband and a real life situation to take care of. So while you guys are acting a fool, he's still in this condition no matter what. This is not my city no matter what. I got to take care of my children no matter what. So I don't have time for this back and forth. Listen, me and my husband worked hard. We made great money. We have savings. We live very simply because that's what we do. We live very simply. So we have enough. And I've been living off of our savings. It was hard finding a place to put my husband because I'm in my RV. This is not a place for a person in his condition to be in. So I made the choice to put him in a facility where it's going to be safe for him and easy for me to visit. And he was. And I pay $11,000 per month out of my savings every single month because he doesn't qualify for Altex, which is the long-term care insurance here in Arizona. He's not covered. He has the VA insurance, so the VA comes and visits him. They still give him care, but no, they're not paying for this. I am. And because I'm at the point now where there ain't no way in hell my husband is going back to that care facility for what they did to him. And I don't know what's worse, the person that did it or the fact that the other people there are sweeping it under the rug and trying to cover it when it's clear signs of abuse. He ain't going back. I can't have my husband come in this RV. I need a home. In order to have a home, you have to show 3 months worth of pay stubs. My pay stubs are not going to show that I can afford a place because I'm not living off of current income. I'm living off of past. And with $11,000 getting deducted every month, my savings account is dwindling. And I need to come back because I need to make an income for my children, for my husband, because he depends on me. He's not being taken care of by the state. I pay for him to get this care. And now that it is no longer safe for him to be in a place like this, I need to get a home. And I need to show that I can pay my rent. And right now it's not showing that. So what I'm asking also is that if you have any negative will towards me or any negative anything, please just pray about it or take it to somewhere else, because that's not healthy for me and that's not healthy for my children. You see, with all these lies, everybody, like so many people try to get CPS involved, and they did. CPS thoroughly investigated my family. They interviewed my children, and they stopped by 3 different times. 3 different times. The Tucson Police Department came to come check on my children. I had Yuma PD calling me. I mean, my APS, of course, the VA hospital opened an APS case, even though what's crazy is they created a wound on Vaughn, and it was pretty severe, stage 2. I didn't even know until he got to the other facility because they didn't tell me. That's how horrible of the care that they gave on. Gave him a wound, didn't even tell me. Stage 2, didn't even tell me. I had to find out when he was at the new facility. And I lost it because I never seen something as bad or tragic. And yet, the police opens a case because of all the calls that they were giving. People were calling the Yuma Police Department, and they opened a case. And they conducted a thorough investigation. And they cleared my name. They seen that obviously they know things that the internet doesn't, because the internet created this false narrative that not even the internet, it was very few amount of people, very little. It's a small little few group of women, and they're not even, most of them weren't even connected with each other. It's just crazy how all this got spread from a tiny few people. That's it. And it blew up and took the internet by storm. And all these people doing YouTube videos on me, not once did anybody ask me, hey, this is what I plan to do a video about you. This is what's going on. you know, this is what I plan to bring out. Is there something you would like to say? There was one person who did email me and say something like that. She already put out a video. So by that time, well, no, we're done. I would have talked to someone. I would have. If someone would have approached me and asked me for my side or my truth or what's really going on, then I would have shared that. But people didn't. The only person that asked me for permission to speak about me and my family was the Facebook or YouTube, the missing puzzle pieces. I was sent a personal message and they sent me 3 different videos that was put together. And I was blown away. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are beautiful. Yes, you have permission to use my paid content to create these videos. That's the only person that ever asked me permission to use my videos that you pay for a subscription to get. Now I'm going to talk about the abuse that took place. Blows my mind how people only associate pain and hurt with tears. I've already cried so much. I'm not gonna, I am trying my best to hold it together as if this is easy for me. It's crazy. But that just shows how desensitized humanity is that I'm not looked at as a person. When I get off of this live video, I go back to being a mom, and I go back to fighting for my husband's life, and I go back to being a regular person. I've been off of social media for 7 months because I didn't want to deal with the BS. I don't want to deal with it now either. So please just excuse yourself if there's any negativity or whatever. I think it would be important for you to hear the truth. And providing me a safe place to do that is important. My girl's father tried to take them away. And no, it was not granted to him. I'm responsible for their girls, for my girls. I'm responsible for their health and for their care. And we eat really good. Organic, plant-based type of good. That ain't cheap. I need to make the income in order to keep providing. So I'm going to do makeup videos. I'm going to do cooking videos. I don't think a majority of it is going to be about Vaughn because of how bad it was. I need it to be a place where other influencers are going to be man enough or grown enough or sympathetic enough to say, you know what, she's right. Even though I don't like Dre, she is a mom and a wife. That's Raza's mom. That's Bella's mom. That's Oasis's mom. And that's Marvon's wife. And that's Marvon's caregiver. She, regardless of what we feel, she still is responsible for those souls. The next few days, or however long, I'm going to be talking about a lot of things. A lot. But right now, give me 1 second. I'm going to get into why Vaughn's in the hospital and why this is so serious. I love you, Jessie. Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate you. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Ashley McKnight. Okay. There is someone that works at the care home that Vaughn is at. There's only 4 people there. You know, it was really sad when Von's mother put out that really whack, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Excuse me. I don't want to be petty. I don't. And I'm trying to put my knuck if you buck side away. So bear with me, please. When Von's mother posted that poem, it was intentionally to create negative feelings for you to have towards me. Von was in an assisted living with 4 people in a house in the mountains, which is why it's I would imagine, which is why it's so expensive. Huge house. It was so, I mean, going there, it was always nice. I feel there's no wonder why Von was healing. I mean, we're around beautiful, beautiful, I don't want to say plants, but yeah, plants. I don't want to say greenery because it's a lot of green, but also like cactuses. Like, it's a desert. I love the desert, but we're in the mountains. The air feels fresh and crisp, you know? And I visit him every day and nobody knows where we're at, you know? Like, it's so good. My children go see their dad. Like, we spend time with him. It feels good. It feels great. I would be able to see him all the time, and it was nice. And because there's only 4 people, he got very good attention. They were on it. And I really like how, although they might not have seen what I seen, which is, for me, I seen so many great things for Von. I've always, that's my baby. I'm always gonna fight for his life. What? So even though they might have felt differently, they supported me. And I fought so hard to get my husband to have foods that were approved, like sea moss. I fought for months for Von to get sea moss, and he finally was able to get sea moss. Like, what? Are you kidding me? And then I tried so hard for Von to get moringa powder, and he got moringa powder, and he would take it every day. 2 tablespoons sea moss in the morning, moringa powder in the evening. And then right before he got into the hospital, ashwagandha was added to the list. And Von, he would have purple onion tea every day. like, duh, what do you expect him to do whenever he's on something so good, you know? It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm not the type to hold on to negativity. How can you hold on to negativity and expect positive things to happen? That doesn't make sense. They repel. Okay? So I need to have a good positive mindset. And I always have with my husband. And I always tell him, baby, as long as you keep fighting, I'm going to keep fighting. And when you feel like it's too much, then baby, I will give you your dignity. And we'll go from there. But he continues to fight. After 4 months, Von started making noises. Like someone that's supposed to never talk again, never walk again, never speak again, never, like, ventilator for the rest of his life. He started like, I say talking, you know, he started talking, but it's like noises, like, like he does that. And I'm like, what? It was the most amazing thing. And it was the most amazing thing to me that I paid for a song to be written in honor of that, so that I could play it for my baby, so he can know how proud I am of him and how much it meant to me to hear his voice and how much I long for him to say I love you again. But there's so many milestones that he would hit. And then the most recent milestone, I ain't even gonna say. But I'm just like, what the? It's amazing how the lights that were turned off are turning back on. You know? I am witnessing a miracle. Like, what? It's amazing. And I see him every day. So I'm by his side witnessing it every day. Breathing life into my baby. Every day he gets red light therapy. Every day he gets his aromatherapy. Every day he gets massages. That man he is loved beyond measured. And it shows in the level of care that he gets. Until recently. My heart, dude. I can. Do you hear the rain? Do you guys want to hear it? Oh, oh, hold on. I don't think I can. Do you guys want to hear? Do you hear that?
Yeah, baby? Tell me more.
That's so bomb. He's doing amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. The milestones that he's making, the things that doctors said he would never do, and he's doing, and it's incredible. And he's my whole heart and soul. Which is why I'm so disturbed at this setback, because he was doing great and he was healing. And I even found a neurology place that is going to do the hyperbaric chamber on him, or they will put him in the hyperbaric chamber. I've already toured the facility. I told them about my husband's condition, and they're ready. They're like, hey, you get him here, we'll do our job. 5 days a week, hyperbaric chamber. So I've been trying so hard to get the VA to approve that. I need a referral, and that's really, it's been a fight that I haven't won yet. But Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, my husband was withheld his food and water. And I know this because of the severe dehydrated state that he was in the following day. He did not look the same, and I was very concerned for the way he looked. I'm with him every day. This was not normal. It was bad. And I think right now I'm going to leave out a lot of certain details, but he had lost 5 pounds that night and gained it right back the next day. And 12 hours later, not even like the next day, not like 24 hours, 12 hours later. And I said, I know that, watch, you weigh him again, he's going to weigh 5 pounds, because people don't lose 5 pounds overnight. That don't make no sense. Watch, he's going to weigh more. And certainly enough, he did. And because he was so dried out, the tube that's in his belly, the JG tube. I would imagine his organs being so dry from being so dehydrated that he shriveled up. And now that cord is kinked. Because of the severe dehydrated state that this person left my husband in, he's not even in the condition to get surgery to fix it. That peg tube is for his water, it's for his food, it's what keeps him going. And he can't even have it through there no more. So this is certainly a different change of events now. And this is bad enough to make me want to come back on social media after I was like, I'm out. No thanks. I don't want no part of this. And so now he's in the hospital, and they weren't giving him what he needed. He went from being super dehydrated. He went to the hospital. His veins were flat. Got an ultrasound machine, couldn't even do it because his veins were flat. Finally, they called a specialist. She got an IV in. Immediately pumped him with 3 liters of fluid, back to back to back. Then he gets admitted. And within a couple days, I noticed, why doesn't he have water hanging? Like, why is his urine looking brown? Why is his heart rate doing this? And it was bad. And I feel like by the grace of God, his heart rate is settled again. Now he's on something called TPN. So it's giving nutrition through his veins. And it's really up to his body to get strong enough again to be able to withstand surgery so that they can fix it. And that's where we're at right now. After Vaughn progressed, after Vaughn hit all these milestones, after Vaughn was able to get off the ventilator by himself. He wasn't supposed to do that. After Vaughn was able to start expressing himself through tears, after Vaughn was able to start using his voice, after Vaughn was able to start opening his eyes, after Vaughn was able to start communicating with me in other different ways, after Marvon was able to stare in my eyes and bat his lashes as his way of just making me feel some type of way, to now back to this. All of the milestones that we hit, and we're back to here. I think it's absolutely disgusting for people to say anything negative about my husband, especially regarding whether he should be alive or not. That's the most vile, demonic, low frequency. It's garbage. It's so vile. Nobody's over here wiping my husband's butt. Let's keep it real. Nobody's here paying for him to get the care that he needs. Nobody's by his side every single day. Every single day. I have to make him a fresh batch of sea moss every 3 days, because although it lasts 3 weeks, that's what the VA wants me to do, so that's what I'll do. I spend a whole lot of money. His food, I pay over $600 a month on that because it's not covered by insurance. Kate Farms, he's doing great on the Kate Farms. The vegan formula, he's doing great. All out of pocket. And I do it without batting my eye, with no hesitation. Take all my money. Whatever we can do to help give this man a fighting chance, because he wants to live, that's his choice. I'm not forcing him to push boundaries his body doesn't want to. I'm not prolonging or holding on to something that ain't real. I hold on to hope and I'm positive. But if he shows me he has a will to live, then I am going to create a safe place in order for him to do so. The fact that that safe place has been compromised, I will take this to the highest extent possible. APS is involved now, and they are aware. And there is an investigation. And the care home, they are aware. And the person that did this, I'm sure she was all up to date with all the stuff. I'm almost certain that the reason why she felt what she did is because of all the things she heard online. What happened online, the crucifixion of me, that negatively affected Vaughn's care. It had a direct effect on it. Here, moving forward, let's keep social media safe, because no matter how you feel, you express it online, other people eat into it. And negativity, everybody, a lot of people jump on the bandwagon, and a lot of people love that train. It's fun for them. That's not fair to my children. I'm the parent that they rely on because their biological father has failed them. And now their dad now is not in the condition to be there in the fullest extent that they need. But we look and we have such a positive mindset. You know what's sad? Actually, dude, my makeup is just so crazy. My eyelash is like coming off. Please, I don't want to look like this the first day I come back to social media. But there has been such a change of events that, I wasn't going to come back to social media to fight with people I don't even know, that don't even know me, that have the audacity to post body cam footage. Are you kidding me? How sick do you have to be? And you know what I really think the issue is that as people can have all the things. People can have a whole husband, a whole marriage, a whole house, all these things, and still be so unhappy. And yet they see me happy with my husband, even in the bed-bound state that he's in. I couldn't be more happy and grateful that he is here alive with me today. And yet I still think people are jealous of that fact, that I'm happy with my current state. That's what it is. And people's jealousy, it shows. And they show it in different ways by attacking me. And it's not okay. Let the fact that the police closed the investigation, the fact that CPS ain't taking away my children, the fact that APS ain't never stopped me from seeing my husband, the fact that I have never gotten kicked out of no hospital, the fact that everybody that knows me in real life, I've never lost anyone that's close to me in my real life. People that went on the internet that would talk and supposedly close to me, they were out of my life for years. That wasn't something that they weren't even close. I mean, 2, 3, 4 years. Like, this is people that were not even in my life. All the people that acted like they know me, those are from my past. That's not even, they wouldn't have any information on what's happening now, like, at all. Anybody that ever said they have an update, it was never accurate. I don't think there's ever been anyone that has posted anything accurate. Especially my children taking T that starts with a K. Supposedly a video. And I thought it must have been Passion Flower, because there ain't no way there's no video. That's not even possible. The Passion Flower, yeah, it could be possible there's a video of that because my children take it, yes. But that was ginger, dude. The video that circulated was my children taking ginger. That's what it was. Ginger. And yet people can say whatever they want, and then the internet runs with it. Crazy. It's crazy. Every person that investigate my family, I always got compliments on how strong of a woman I am, how incredible my children are, and how, keep it up. Keep it up. Nobody should be criminalized for choosing to feed their children fruits and vegetables and giving them foods that are going to contribute to their healing, not detriment. But that's going to be discussed in another live further down the road. I feel like I've said all that needed to be said, and I know I'm kind of like everywhere. This was not planned. I was planning on doing pre-recorded videos only. Ain't no updates on Vaughn. I was only going to talk about what was already out to give people the actual truth, actual, real. But no. This is different. Now, for the first time, now this is the hardest time in my life. Now this is. I hold on to hope. I hold on to my faith. And that kept me going all these months. And it's going to continue to keep me going. But it wasn't no false hope back then. That was me really, truly feeling like my husband's got this. And the fact that that opportunity could be taken away from him from someone else's negligence and it being swept under the rug and my husband possibly not coming back from this. Are you kidding me? That does something to me that is, yeah. But as I said, I'm getting help for this. I have an incredible doctor. She's giving me this homeopathic stuff that is working wonders on me. And it's helping me to be able to function with the pain that I feel. Because this started Thursday. And it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like every single day has been so intense. Like, it's been hard. And I just want to be able to have a safe place where I can go back to cooking live. You know, where I could do my makeup. Where we could talk about things, you know. I want to vibe with people that want to vibe with me. That's it. Whatever you feel, I'm sorry that you feel. But please, if I'm not your cup of tea, don't force yourself to be here. And the negativity that is spread, it has a direct effect on my family. So please leave my family alone. Stop trying to profit off of my husband's tragedy. Y'all already made a lot of money. I mean, and none of it went towards my husband's care. And that's the thing. None of it went towards him staying in that house. Never once did I go live asking nobody for money. I never said, hey, y'all donate to this. Never, not once. Throughout all of this. And yet, so many people have profited off of lying about sharing things that should never be out to the public and spreading things. That's not okay. And I don't have a lawyer. Again, just in case. Anybody who ever said I had a lawyer, like anything that they've ever said, question, because they don't have the facts. I'm not suing anyone right now. My whole entire energy has been on my husband and my children. That's it. My husband, my children, my God. That is my circle. That's my, what I focus my energy and attention on. And what other people say about me is none of my business. So I try not to even indulge. I don't watch no videos. I don't even want to know. My friends tell me a need to know basis. They don't go tell me when stuff pops off. I go to them like, hey,
this family member's calling me, and they only call me when something's happening on social media. Did something happen? And then all of a sudden I hear, oh yeah, this rumor is being spread now about Vaughn no longer being here. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And while Vaughn is literally, he was doing great at that moment, that rumor was spread, he was doing good. I mean, like, Vaughn, his room at the house in the mountains, double doors to the outside. The outside is beautiful. I have videos of the outside that I am going to show, just to show how incredible that house is. Like, it's amazing. The outside view where Vaughn was at in the mountains is no wonder why he was healing. Of course. How can you not? It's a great place to be. Hold on. That's so evil. Sweet woman, brain cells do not renew themselves because of lack of oxygen. Okay, that was a really harmful thing to say and hurtful. I don't know what made you want to say that, or what made you think that that would help me out. I hope that you really just think about the effect that your words have on people. Because Vaughn is special enough to be loved even now. Despite him being in this state that he's in, the way that it's funny. The girls, it's so funny. Because Vaughn, the way he has a whole personality. Y'all just don't know. Y'all, it's just crazy. So many people said I showed all of my life. Like, what? I didn't even show half. Not even a quarter. Like, I would go live almost every day. But there's 24 hours in a day, boo. Like, let's just say I went live for 4 hours in a day. That's 20 hours I'm not live. And yet people want to act like they know everything that happens behind closed doors. When 20 plus hours a day, y'all don't even know what happens. It's crazy how people swear they knew. I show everything. No, I don't. No, I don't. There's so much that people don't see. But regardless, Vaughn did not have any function after this. He was completely gone. He went from that to eyes open, making noises, opening his eyes, batting his eyelashes at me, like pulling me. He pulls me. I hold his hands and I move it, and then he's already pulling me towards him. There's so many things that he does that you can't tell me, oh, he's gone forever. No, he's not. And it's shown. But I don't need to tell you that. I just need to know and have faith that he will. And it's amazing to see. And my children, this builds up their faith. That although this is what's going to be said in the medical textbooks, and this is probably what doctors, like, look at the human body and how incredible it was made. It's amazing. Thank you, Ashley Roberts Hunt. I appreciate that. How was the first visit? I don't remember the first visit, honestly. I don't remember, but I mean, the children, they would see videos of him all the time, so it's not like when they visited him. Oh wait, no, I remember when Braza did. He was at the step down hospital, and it was so sweet. It was really sweet. I think I don't want to share that because I want to hold it, because it seems like anything I share, like, look at the nastiness that's still online, you know? It's awful. So there's certain things that I want to hold dear to my heart, and that's one. I remember now. And it was beautiful, and I did record it. maybe in time we'll share it, but as of right now, it's special to me. Hi, Stephanie. I miss you. Thank you for praying for us, Jessica. I really appreciate that. Christy Brown, I love you so much, Christy. I was in a coma on oxygen and came back breathing again on my own. It's possible, dude. Beverly Halls on TikTok. I think that's what it. I just started following her. I've seen her videos before, but something came in my feed and her son almost lost his life. And seeing that, it was like, oh my gosh. Seeing how strong her faith was, it's like, that's the type of energy I need to be around. Not these people who ain't got no faith, that believe that whatever a doctor says, that is like God's speaking. No. A doctor is going to speak on what his profession is. He can create life. Doctors did not create life, God did. So despite what doctors can do, it's a limit. I'm so grateful for the medical field. I'm so grateful for the doctors, for the nurses, for the home care team, like every single person. I am so grateful for. And anybody that takes care of my husband, I always thank them. Every single time. Thank you for taking care of him. Ow. But what they say doesn't mean that's how it's going to be. Vaughn's already proved them wrong. And you know what? Another lie that's out there is that Vaughn was brain blank. No, he was never. A doctor never told me he was brain DEAD. Never, not once has a doctor ever told me that. Vaughn has always had brain activity, which is why that was even more confusing why they wanted me to pull the plug. Because why would I do that when he has brain activity? That was confusing to me. It's like, it would be one thing if he was, but he wasn't. He had brain activity, but he would have pauses in it. That was it. It was a pause. Brain activity, pause. That was it. Recently, he had another EEG, no more pauses. It's just suppressed brain activity. That's what it is now. That's what the doctor called it. Suppressed brain activity. And it was a completely different neurologist, completely different hospital that said this. And I'm like, good. Thank you. Because I knew he would heal. And everybody wanted to make it seem like I'm crazy, like I'm holding on to false hope. Let me not say everybody, because it wasn't everybody. It was people that didn't know me. But I continued to breathe life into my husband. I knew that he would get better. And look, so you can't tell me otherwise. Your words are empty, so to speak, because I have witnessed something completely different. And Vaughn being so strong, even now, the fact that he's still fighting, bro, I hope tomorrow it's a good news report. But tomorrow, I don't know what it's going to be like when I walk in the hospital. I don't know if his body is going to, because TPN, it has sugar in it. His body, if there's an infection, the sugar's going to feed it. This is not long-term. TPN is not for long-term care. So his body needs to absorb the nutrients from this, and he needs to hydrate in order for him to get well. So this is very serious. But just like I said before, my husband's going to get better. He's going to do it now. And I am looking for a house to be in so badly because I want my husband home. I want to be able to take care of him myself instead of leaving my children every single day. And they are so supportive of me because I'm trying to balance being a wife and a mom, trying to take care of a man who can't do nothing for himself. I do it lovingly and willingly, but it's a lot of work because he can't do anything for himself. And then I'm trying to make sure I take care of my children, make sure that they're up on their homeschooling, which is crazy that people said that my children are not in school. It's like, what? What's even crazier is that there was someone that's close to my children that believed that they weren't in school and even wrote that down on court documents saying that, and referenced Facebook as a as proof, a Facebook post. I'm like, that's sad. If you didn't know that these children were or were not in school, shame on you. You should know that. You should know that. You should know better. That goes to speak at how involved you are in their life. Come on now. The fact that it could actually be believed that my children aren't seeing a doctor. Are you kidding me? And another thing that people would say that would lie is CPS told me I have 10 days to take my children to a doctor. What? No, they didn't. That was never said to me. My children had went to a doctor like 2 weeks before CPS ever got involved. So they never had even said anything like that. Whoever said that lied to you. That was another lie that was made up. I talked to CPS because they came. They didn't just talk to me. They talked to my parents. They talked to my mom. They talked to my dad. They talked to Bella, Oasis, and Raza for a little bit. But they eased up because Raza was not comfortable with them whatsoever. And Raza kept trying to get in my arms. And I tell him, Raza, come on, honey, like, let's sit down. Okay, mommy, they have to ask you, all these things, whatever. He's like, okay. But then when it was time for me to walk away, he was like, no, stranger danger. And that was enough for them. Like, there's so many things. Like, there's one time I went live with Slay Mafia, which I'm going to be there live after her here. And thank you, because without Slay Mafia, like, I know I haven't been there for content. I'm shocked that there's so many people that are still there. Like, shocked. But I don't know. I don't want to say I shouldn't be, but it is shocking whenever there's so many people that you thought were like supportive and you had a connection, and then you realize, oh, I guess that was not real. You kind of just don't know if you are liked or cared for anymore, by certain people. But the fact that for all these months, I'm just like, wow, that meant a lot to me, because you helped me to be able to continue to help my family. And it meant a lot to me. Severe dehydration, Marisol. That's not even possible. How does someone gain 5 pounds unless they're but I feel like not only was his food and water withheld, I feel like she had to do something else. And it wasn't just that. She removed his pillows too. She's had animosity towards me for a long time, and I would always report to the nurse manager. I would report to the owner. Nothing ever changed. I just decided to stop going to the care home when she worked, because obviously she had a problem with me. I did not want it to affect my husband's care, so that's fine. You have an issue with me for whatever reason, I just won't go when she's working, so that she doesn't feel irritated and then take that on him. And she never messed with him until now. Vaughn always has a pillow under both of his legs, but his knee is turning inward a little bit. So I asked that the pillow be folded so that it keeps his knees elevated. And I told her, I already put it there. You don't have to move him. She's like, so you want a pillow under both of his legs? And I'm like, well, normally you guys already do put a pillow under there. But this time I'm folding it to help it from turning inward. So she's like, okay, well, do you want a pillow in between his legs too? And I said, it depends on how he's positioned. Right now, he does need one in between his legs because his knees are too close. So she's like, okay. I said, but he's already situated. You don't have to worry about that. She's like, okay, I'll pass it to the next person. So then the next day I get there and I walk in the room and Vaughn's 125 heart rate and he looks stressed. Now Vaughn's had heart rates higher before, but you could tell he's like calm. He was very stressed. And I'm like, what the? I go move the sheet because I do red light therapy on him every single day. And I notice he has no pillows under him. So I'm like, okay. They're all on the couch. So I go to the couch, grab the pillows, fold them, put them under him. And whenever the new home care worker or the new person, caregiver came in, I said, hey, if you don't mind, can you please fold the pillows under his knees? I go through the spiel. And she's like, that's weird because so-and-so told me that your new request is to have no pillows. And at that point, I lost it. Oh, I lost it. Because I've always stayed out of her way. You know, there's a picture on Marvon's phone. I always left Marvon's phone with him. I would always leave it with him so that he can listen to music. And it just seemed like so many people would turn off his music. It was crazy. It's crazy how people legit turn off something that's supposed to soothe my husband. It's just, it's sad that people don't give him the dignity because they feel some type of way. Just crazy. Anyways. So that really upset me because there's no way that there was miscommunication. There's no way that there was misunderstanding. She asked me questions to make sure she understood what I was talking about, and I confirmed and verified to make sure that she knew we're on the same page. Yes, this is the same thing. She had to deliberately remove a pillow under each of his leg and then say, oh, this is what Andrea wants. Someone who is bedbound, their bodies are going to kind of conform to the position that they're normally in. So although he's turned every 2 hours, it's still in a similar position. So to move the blanket or the pillows all together, whenever normally he has that oomph, it's making his legs go straight. So those muscles that are normally bent are being stretched out. Is this the reason why why he was so stressed? And then another medication, I asked them to stop because he was on a medication for a long time. And then his nurse told me, I think this medication, I think he's having tremors because of this medication. And I'm like, really? She was like, yeah, it's a side effect. And once they come, they'll never go away. And I'm like, okay. Well, when he got it on that medication, he was doing these like hiccups thing. He was like, like on my TikTok or on my Reels, you could see that certain videos where Vaughn's doing that, like that. Well, he got on a medication and it stopped it. And I was amazed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's good. Sometimes he would have them, but then he would stop. But eventually the doctor reduced that medication and tremors was like very light. And she only reduced it by half. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so with the reduction of the medication, I'm thinking, well, I need to make sure he's not like the hiccups, you know, but they're not hiccups, but it's just, he would do that every single day, literally. Well, she had taken it half and it had already been like several days. I don't even know if it was a week yet, but it was several days and he did really great. He responded great and his body was so calm and relaxed. So I called her and I said, hey, is it possible if we could try to get him off all the way? She was like, well, let me talk to the pharmacist and make sure that she has no objections, but you know, you're well within your right to, if this is not a medication that you feel he should have, then that's okay. We support you. But we will, we'll get back with you. So You know, I prayed about it. That's serious, you know. One accusation about me was I always refused, or how do you say, I didn't let Vaughn have medical care, or something about I didn't give him medicine, or Lou didn't let him have medicine, or something along those lines. That was a rumor being spread out. So, you know, I take those decisions to, should he still have this? Should he not? Should I take away? Should I not? I take that very seriously, because I don't want to do anything that's not going to be good for him. I'm always thinking about the betterment of him and how he's going to fare. And I felt comfortable with them taking it away, because the purpose that he needed it, he didn't have that problem anymore. So if you don't have that problem anymore, you don't need the solution anymore. Basically, that's how I seen it. And especially, she was okay with taking him off, but they don't make just a decision. One person makes that decision. With the VA home health care team, you have to talk with your home-based care group. So eventually, that same day, that day that I went to go visit Vaughn and he was stressed, they had given him that medication that I asked them to hold. And he was tremoring bad, very bad, worse than whenever he was normally on it. And I'm like, oh my God. But that day, new orders came in and his nurse decided to discontinue it. But that's frustrating, because I had asked them to not give that to him because the effects that it is having on his body, and they gave it to him anyways. I'm glad it's discontinued. I'm glad it's not going to be an issue from here moving forward. But the fact that it even was, that's just another thing that really bothers me, because Vaughn should be getting exceptional care. No matter what people feel, no matter their opinion, when you're in the medical field, you do your job. You care for the patient. You don't judge them based off of should they be alive or not. What kind of mess is that? What kind of hate in your heart do you have? Like, that's sad. Now, I see there's, you know, if Vaughn was declining, then I would understand. Like, if Vaughn was doing bad, and he truly was everything that the doctor said he would be, then I would get it. We don't need to prolong torture. But Vaughn's not being tortured. Vaughn's not in this insufferable state. Vaughn is in a state of healing. And from the get-go, dude, from the get-go, all I would talk about on my lives is how I only want positivity, positive energy. You got low frequencies, I don't want it. Don't pity me. I even go my videos. Please, if you pity me, feel bad for me, that's a low frequency. That's not going to help my husband to heal. Please don't send it my way. That's how I always was. Because I wanted positivity only around him, because he deserved that. And with all of this, it just made my life so much harder. I remember the same Facebook page that started all of this. They had made a post and said, well, Andrea says she's living her best life. So, and some of you guys said you should wait because her husband has a brain injury, but she said she's living her best life, so she's good. What? Bro, when you see me happy, when you see me smiling, it's not because I'm without a struggle. Internally and physically. No. My life completely changed. Never in a million years could you have told me what my life would have been like. Ever. Ever. And never. And I'm in a whole new state, like, or not state, a whole new city. This is not my home. You know, I just grab my children and leave, like my dogs, and leave. And then there were creators that were bashing me for taking my children to an Airbnb, bashing me for having my children in an RV. My husband had attempted. I don't live in Tucson. What else was I supposed to do buy a house immediately, rent immediately. I don't know how long the condition he's going to be in. I don't know if we're going back home to Yuma. There's a lot of things I don't know. But I'm trying to figure out, and I'm trying to do my best. And I know that I have children that look at me and hold on to my energy. Whichever way I move, they follow. So why wouldn't I want to set an example that my children can follow? When bad times happen, that's when you really get on your knees and you pray. And you pray hard. And then when you are done praying, let me read this, what my mom sent to me today. Is it not on this phone? Oh, here we go. I have learned that living in expectations of trials is often more challenging than actually going through them. We show trust first. Then God takes us by the hand and leads us through the valley of deep shadow. The only thing left for me to do is not to let go of his hand. And this whole time, I haven't let go of his hand, and I'm going to continue to hold on to his hand. And despite what other people say, I'm so grateful for my children are so grateful for their dad being alive. How can you wish him the opposite? Don't do that to him. But even if you do, I rebuke that energy, and it is not welcome around my family at all. What's hard for me to witness is how happy my children are around their dad, and yet they can't share that happiness with others because it's like a sad thing. Oh no, it's like people look at it as detrimental, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, we can't change our life. You know, I have found so much peace in not stressing over the things that I have no control over. You can't live a happy life focusing on the things that you have no control over, because you're just going to stress yourself out and get no positive results. You focus on what you can control, and you can control how you to react to certain situations. That's it. The only difference between successful people and, like in business, and people that are unsuccessful or have quit businesses is that successful people, they've fallen, but they haven't stopped. Everybody is going to fail. Everybody is going to fall. But successful people, they just keep going. That's how they get successful, is that those failures are not stumbling blocks. They're an obstacle, but you could use it as a stepping stone. So do that, you know. And then there's people that look at life with the glass half full, and some that look at life with that glass half empty. I would rather be the type of person that looks at the glass half full and focuses on my blessings in life. What can I be grateful for today? As bad as it is with what happened with my husband, my children have their health. What? As bad as things are, things can always be worse. My children have their health, and my husband, he has a struggle, but we are so strong-minded. We are such a tight-knit family, and we have so much hope and faith for the future. And we live such a good life now with Vaughn still, despite the condition that he's in, and despite the fact that he has more healing to do. I'm going to be by his side every step of the way. As long as he keeps fighting, I keep fighting. And when he feels like enough is enough, then baby, I respect his wishes, but he hasn't shown me that yet. In fact, before I left, he gives me his cute little blinks too. He did that yesterday before I left, and today he did it again. He does his little blinks while he stares at me. It's the most beautifulest thing. I have a lot more things to talk about, and maybe things will be more organized with my lives when I talk about things in the future. This was kind of sudden because this is really serious. And what I would appreciate is that if social media were to either show support or just take your leave. Let me be able to continue to provide an income, because all these people who made great money off of speaking on me and my family, who ain't never told the truth, come on now. Allow me to be able to provide an income, because it benefits Bella, Oasis, Raza, and it benefits my husband. And if you ever want justice for Vaughn or ever care about him, then you care about the people he loves the most. You can't say you care for Vaughn and you do this to me and you do this to his children. I want to be able to create a safe place for my babies to talk about how excited they are about all the things that happens with daddy. And you know what I'm gonna do now? Once I finally get a house so I can bring my baby home, I'm gonna go and get either an ambulance or a van with a gurney access, and I'm gonna buy a gurney. I've already been looking online and shopping for some, and when Vaughn gets out and I get him home, I'm gonna take him my damn self to his hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy appointments so that he can get the help that he needs, because he has people that want to help him. I just have no way of getting him there. And whatever I can do to save my husband's life and to give him a fighting chance at having the best life before paradise comes, then I'm going to do that. And I'm going to continue to fight for him, be by his side, breathing life into him, telling him it's okay, it's safe, I got him. He doesn't have to worry. All he has to do is rest and heal, and I got the rest. He ain't even got to worry about anything. I'm going to continue to do that. So whether social media provides me a safe place or not, I'm going to still come online and do my thing regardless. Nobody ever ran me off social media. People act a fool, and I was like, bro, y'all weird, I'm out. This is not for me. I don't have time to do the back and forth. When that initial video of huffing came out, that was so long ago. And I asked people, y'all, like, this was so long ago. Like, that's, my husband has a brain injury. Bro, he's in a coma. I'm not worried about something that I did 3 years ago. Like, this is real life. I got to focus on this. But people kept bringing it to my videos. And it's like, it's one thing for them to post the negativity, but then it's the minions that go and spread it and spread the lies. You know what I would like to see is the people that took a hand in spreading false information. You take a hand in spreading right information and talking about how bullying is not okay, and how if you have concerns, you take it to authorities and you leave it in their hands. That this public crucifixion, this domestic terrorist mob type action online was absolutely unacceptable. And it was disappointing, to say the least, that this is what humanity has come to. But I will go live and talk about a lot of things, especially the fact that there's been so many lies. People that y'all, I try to warn you. I try to warn you. And I said, anybody that donates, you deserve to get your money taken. And I don't want anybody to, I don't want that. Like, that doesn't make me feel good that people were. Even though I said that, it doesn't make me feel good. That's not, There's some people that didn't know me from Adam, and they just knew it because this false story blew up. And so they're just believing everything that's said because they don't know anything about me. And then I had tons of messages. I created a whole folder in my Google Drive for those messages. I would screenshot and save them. The messages where people would say, hey, I found out about you from the negativity, and I went to your page to look to see these videos, and I'm shocked. You have my support. What they're doing to you is foul. Like those types of and so throughout all this time, always got messages from people showing support and love, and it meant a lot to me. And all the times that Slay Mafia would post in my group, gosh, that meant so much to me. There's so many times that I felt so lifted, even though I was off of here. And there's so many good times that have happened with my family. And so many things that we're doing that are now part of our tradition. And it's fun and exciting. And I would like to show that. I'm not a perfect mother or a perfect woman. I'm not a perfect wife. I'm not a perfect servant. I'm not none of those things. I'm imperfect. I'm a daughter of Adam. Okay, so that's me. But I know that before this recent online villainizing of me, before that, I was looked up to a lot. And the reason why I shared so many downs is because I didn't want people to think I had a perfect life. Just because me and my husband have a good marriage, an amazing marriage, just because there are certain good things doesn't mean it's without struggle. You know, there was someone, you know, because CPS, they got all these videos that came out. They seen them all. I told them. Like, yeah, there's this person. Like, they seen the video. So, you know, and I remember one time with Slay Mafia, I told them how the night before was so hard because my son, I come from being in a hospital. Again, this is not, I don't live in Tucson. Like, I'm from Yuma. I don't know this city. I'm in a city I don't know. My husband, who was by my side every single day, I'm by his side every single day, now is fighting for his life. My dogs were in this RV. Like, so much is happening, which, let me say first, my children have their own bed. Like, this is a nice size RV. It's small, but it's great. My children have their own beds. This RV is 6 to 8 people. I have a nice fridge, 3-burner stove. I have a 2-burner stove outside. I have water, heat, AC, tons of food. Like, we have everything that we need. There was a reason why I was going to say that. I just want to hear Von's side. And that's really sad that you say that, Sammy. A man is fighting for his life in the hospital, and all you can think of is you want to hear his side. What? This is what I mean. Like, you are so desensitized from human emotions that is what you think about. Imagine your husband. Are you married? Or think about, do you have a very strong bond that you have someone? Imagine they did that. Imagine you found your significant other, and that person's in the hospital fighting for their life, and what someone else says is, I want to hear that person's side. What? Do you not see the bigger issues at hand? Do you not see that? What the hell? How sick and desperate of a person do you have to be that you are taking, I want to hear his side? What if he doesn't even want to say his side? Listen, Von ain't never gonna, want to talk to, like, I know my husband. There is no coming back from what happened online. There's just, Vaughn, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. How about, you know what, Andrea? I'm sending you well wishes to Vaughn. Continue to stay by his side and please take care of him. That would be nice, you know? Not, I can't wait to hear his side. How sad. That's so sad. That's so sad. There are people who have big families that live in RVs and travel all over. Dude, it was amazing being at the RV park because I am surrounded by homeschooling RV living people. Like, we fit right in. You know, we got together. There was another parent and we would get together and our children would do science experiments together. Like, it's amazing. My children had an incredible summer, always going to the swimming pool almost every day. Raza got dork. Like, it was amazing. It was amazing. So, yeah, there's whole lives that happen, you know? Oh, you were talking about the day before. Thank you, Jessica. I needed that reminder. Thank you. After my husband's I got blamed by his family. Tons of lies by his family I never even met. Just ignore. I know it's easier said than done. I'm really sorry that happened to you, Jax, and I'm very sorry to hear about your husband. I'm so sorry. Okay. Anyways, going back, yes. I was so stressed. I'm coming home from the hospital from people. I mean, one time I'm in a room with like 7 doctors cornered. Cardiologists, neurologists. I think there were like 3 different neurologists. There were so many different people trying to tell me how detrimental it's going to be and how it's end of the line type of deal. That's how it was all the time. I'm not going to come home in a happiest of moods. I'm going to be stressed, fighting all day, trying to make sure my husband gets good care. And then there were so many things that would happen at the VA. Oh my God. Like, it was stressful. What you seen online didn't even come close to paint what was really happening. But that's because I don't need to be vulnerable about things I don't want to be vulnerable about. You're not entitled to information that I don't feel like is worth putting out there. Anyways, so I remember one time I came here and I was so angry. And Raza's behavior was so difficult. I mean, it was not good. And I remember being so upset. And I asked the girls to please help me. Because I felt, and I said this in a video, I felt that if he doesn't move, that I'm going to do something. And I felt that way. I did. That's how I felt, truly. It was. That's bad. Which is why I asked for help. If y'all ain't never feel like your children are driving you crazy and you need to get up out of this house or else you are going to lose it, you're going to take it out on someone, maybe I'm the only parent that has ever felt that way. But the fact is that I recognized I felt so much anger that I know that came from that toxic place. My husband went from we're together all the time to I'm going home alone, sleeping in a bed without him no more. And that was overnight, snap of a finger, without notice, no preparation, just life turned upside down. And I'm trying to deal with that. Like how hard it was. Yeah. Hell yeah. I was stressed out about my son. Yes. It was not good. My children are amazing because the girls we love our life. They love our unit too. It's not just me, I love our family. No. My children are whole individuals who work hard to make our home a place of peace. We always have family meetings all the time to revisit, to make sure that we're all doing our part to make sure that there's peace in the home, so that we understand each other's languages. Because Raza, man, his behavior now is, he does have issues, but it's nothing like what it was before. And that was because of all these family meetings that we're having. We're trying to understand how he communicates, how we understand. Like, Raza's a whole sensitive person. So to communicate with him, we need to talk differently, because that's how he understands it. It's not based off of how I understand it. I want him to receive it. I want him to act differently. You can't get the same, you can't get a different result doing the same thing, you know? But when CPS asked me about that, and I'm like, yes, I was stressed the hell out. Yes, I felt like I needed my son to go. My husband's fighting for his life in the hospital, and I felt like he's gonna do great. Like, I every day, all day, I would pray. I would pray more, I felt like, than I wouldn't pray. And I would always ask God, please don't give me false hope, please. I need to know that my fight for him to keep going is worth it. Is it really what you want? And every single time, there would be a sign, there would be a scripture, there would be someone telling me something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no way that that's coming from anyone but God. There's no way. Because it was all I needed. But it wasn't easy. So coming home to trying to function of life in an RV now, this is my full-time life now, like, it's different. I went from a 2,000 square foot home to an RV. Like, you know, my everything was different. Of course I'm gonna have hard days. Of course. Another thing that I take serious is accountability, especially with when I am wrong. And many conversations have happened with my children, apologizing to them when I feel like I am not as patient with them that I should be. And this is something that I take serious, because obviously the energy that I'm getting from social media, that I'm trying to rebuke, but it's really, really hard, because how can your life not be affected with the internet going crazy and being so blatantly disrespectful and insensitive towards your family and treating you as if you're not a whole person, especially with the lies that were going about that on social, like, that, so many lies. There was more untruth than there was truth. 100%. So yes, it was a very hard night. And you think that I could have, and I don't regret saying that on live. I don't regret saying it now. And the reason why is because I know that some people glorify me. I don't want the glory. It's not for me. I don't want it. But I know with social media, people start looking up to you in certain ways. I just want people to know I'm human too, and I have down moments. Like, I am praised as an amazing mother, as an amazing parent. So what I do is I show you the not amazing moments, so that while you respect me, you also know that I am not perfect. So I share certain things so that you as a mother, listen, if you are feeling like, bro, this is not good, it's not healthy for me, you ask for help. I think the problem is when you don't ask for help, and then you take it out on your children. And these are things that they got to carry when they're adults. That's the problem. The problem is giving your children a childhood that they need therapy for. My children are thriving. They know the truth about what the doctors say. I tell them, and I keep it all the way real. But I also tell them what I believe and how I'm going to operate and how I'm going to continue in life with the mindset knowing that their dad is going to continue to fight through. And even if he doesn't make a full recovery now, I know there's a promise of a paradise that is outlined in the Bible. And I believe in it so big, a time where there will be animals, lions and snakes and goats and bunnies able to take a whole nap together. This whole food chain of animals eating animals, that's not going to happen no more. Even that's not even going to exist in paradise because every animal's going to eat grass. We're going to be under our own vine and fig tree. We're going to build our own houses and live in them. We're going to have perfect health. People that are in wheelchairs are going to stand again. People that have died have the hope of a resurrection. This is what we have outlined in the Bible, and I believe it wholeheartedly. So, but even if, let's say, the Bible is false, not real. Let's just say even though I don't believe that at all. Let's just say that. It shouldn't matter if I believe whether my husband is going to get well or not. Am I doing my duties of taking care of him? Am I making sure that he's taken care of? Am I making sure that my children are taken care of? Then that's all that matters. That's all that matters. You ain't wiping his butt. You ain't taking care of him. You ain't you don't wash his hair. You don't scrub his feet. No, never would you either. Let's get that straight. I'm still very protective over my husband's toes. Okay. I even showed one of my friends the difference in the way Vaughn's feet looked when he was dehydrated, where he lost the 5 pounds. 12 hours later, there's a clear difference of how he looked. He looked sucked dry, and then he looked plump. And I was livid. I was livid because I was sick to my stomach, shaking, felt like I was going to vomit. It was bad. So I wanted to show my friend the difference. Girl, you know I had to edit that photo and cross out his toes. Okay? No. I love you, but no. Them toes is mine. Okay? But whatever. Anyways, that's irrelevant. But you ain't taking care of the man. So you have no spot for an opinion. As long as I'm taking care of him, that's all that matters. Whether you believe what should happen, what shouldn't happen, your opinion. Let him out. Sorry, Bernard was peeing right now. I gotta go. I'm gonna have to clean up some piss, man. Okay. I am gonna be live for Slay Mafia because I miss you guys a lot, so. But this time I am gonna be looking at comments, so yeah. Anyways. I love you too, Michelle Rutherford. Oh my God, I love you. I love you so much. Okay. Thank you for listening. I hope what I said made sense. I didn't really look at a lot of comments, so I don't know if you guys understood any. And I just seen my doctor again today, and I decided to come back to social media after I see my doctor. Whatever homeopathic stuff she's getting, that stuff works. I'm like, whoa, it's crazy. Because I felt like I was going to be a patient at the hospital next because of what my heart was feeling. I felt real physical pain. My heart would start heart palpitations. What has happened to my husband? I'm not okay. Before 2022, despite what my husband did, the amount of blessings that I saw, when the Bible tells us that God is close to the brokenhearted, he means it. I never felt alone, not once, ever. I never felt like there was a place that I would be where God's Holy Spirit couldn't reach me. I always knew I was taken care of and that we were going to be okay. And this is no different. But it's just a little bit, no, it's a lot more upsetting. This pisses me off because for the last several months that this has happened, my husband has been progressing and improving and getting better and doing things that he wasn't supposed to do. And now we have a setback this big, and the facility wants to sweep it under the rug and not take my complaints seriously. And they know all about the social media stuff. I kept them up to date. They were aware. So they also knew I wasn't suing nobody. Like, I don't know why everybody thought I had a lawyer and their lawyer is telling me to be quiet. Like, no. And the manager knew that. So I don't know if he's sweeping it under the rug because he thinks I let everything else slide. I let people talk trash about, like, my attention is to my husband, and that's it. And now that this has happened, well, a little bit of energy has to be taken away from my husband to go make sure that these people get whatever is the punishment for their crime. So, anyways, thank you for listening to me, and thank you for being here and supporting me. If you do, if you don't, that's okay too. We're all different people. The world is although there's a lot of negativity, it's actually still a beautiful place. You know, you could still live a very meaningful life even now. So make sure that you do things that feel good to your soul. If I don't feel good to your soul, boo-boo, then go do something that makes you feel good and brings good energy into your home. Because you're not going to have a happy life, happy marriage while trying to turn and ruin somebody else's. It's not going to work. And I'm saying that out of hope that whoever, because I'm sure there was tons of comments that were removed and people that were blocked. I just hope that these people just kind of think about what they say and the impact that it has. Because no matter whatever you put out on social media has an impact, whether for good or for not. This will be addressed. Amazing Dre, we stand with you. Period. It will be addressed. Thank you. Okay. I love you guys. Have a good night.